Like I said, this is going to be kind of the beginning of our 3-month stretch here of squad training. What I'm going to go over today is something that Dakota Liu, our old field specialist, who was with us at the beginning of this division, called the box. And I'm going to explain it the best I can. If you guys have any questions or if it makes absolutely no sense, I'll understand, and I'll try and explain it better. But so each of you need to think of yourself as a box when you move around the battlefield. There are, of course, 4 sides to the box, not including your feet and your head, which would be the top and the bottom. Don't worry about that for right now. So there's 4 sides, and as you're moving, you want to cover as many sides as you can. So when I'm stacked up against this wall, the left side of my box is covered. I can't get killed from there, but I can be killed from the front, the side, and the rear, and that's where the squad tactics come in. So if I could get 2 squad leaders, let's say Hercules and Sutton, to come over here, please. Okay, Hercules, why don't you get in front of me? Sutton, get behind me. So over here, yeah, there you go. Okay, so now I have a modified box. Now I have Sutton behind me, not only acting as a bullet shield, but he's covering the rear of my box. So that sector is what we call covered, of course. He's watching the rear. Hercules is out here in front. He's watching the front. Now I, being the center of the box, I'm going to watch the side. Now right now, in the way we stand, we have all 4 sides of the box covered. Remember this when you guys go into that hostile zone later. Remember the box, okay? When you're moving with your squads, cover as many sides of the box as you can. And squad leaders, you guys need to do as good a job as you can to make sure at all times you have as many sides of your box covered as possible. Now there's a couple other things I want to do. Could I get one more person over here? Maybe Corsair. Just hop on over. Okay, maybe not Corsair. Maverick Wolf.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. Hop in front of Hercules. Don't moon him. Just in front of him. Okay, that works too. I'll hop in front. Okay, so what we have here is a 4-man fire team. And this is generally what we operate in. Sometimes you operate in 5-man, 6-man, depending on the squad size. But in the 4-man fire team formation, we can cover every single side of the box really well. So if you're in the front, this is generally who the squad leader is going to be. Or you're in the 2nd fire team and you're in the front. You're obviously watching the front of the formation. So you're watching the front of the box. If you're the man behind him, you're going to watch everything from front to like the 90-degree location. So if you're on the box, you're kind of watching the front right portion of it as we're stacked up here. Behind him is Sutton. He's watching the 90 to 180 degree vector in the back there. He's the 3rd in the back. And then Maverick Wolf, who's in the back, bringing up the rear. He's watching that 180 degree sector. He's also covering corners, etc., etc. So as we stand now, our box is completely sealed off. We have every sector covered, and we're pretty squared away here. So aim for this as you guys are moving. You should always try and have your box covered. This is, of course, up against the wall. If we were out in the open, which is where we're going to go next, so why don't you guys follow me out here. We're going to run on the taxiway for a bit. If you guys could just, you can walk over to the taxiway, don't get on it. Okay, just take up the same formation, column. By the way, a column is just straight back from the squad leader. Should be in a line. Okay, that works. So yeah, line up on the yellow line. Okay, now we're in the open. Now we don't have the benefit of the side of the wall there. So now we've opened up the box even more. I have a left and right side, and of course the front and the back. So again, I'm covering the front. Nothing changes up here. The squad leader or fire team leader, whoever's on point, is of course watching the front. The person behind me should be watching the right, as he's currently doing. And you have to cover that whole entire sector. So if you're the man behind the squad leader, you're watching the right sector. And that's everything from the front all the way back to that 180 degree vector. If you're the man behind him, you're watching where the wall used to be. So now, of course, you're watching from kind of the front. Of course, you don't want to shoot your own people. You're watching the side, more or less. And then the guy in the back is, again, watching the rear. Hopefully this all makes pretty good sense. It's pretty simple stuff. I want to see you guys exercise it, though. That's why we run this mission. This is just basic movement, and this is the formation I want to see you guys in tonight. So none of this, over here, we're all kind of all over the place. I want to see column formations just like this. Our spacing is a little tight right now. When we do run this, try and keep your spacing a little bit better. And this is what we're going to get good at right here. Is moving like this and protecting our box. There's one more thing I want to do real quick, and it's moving in bounds. You know what? Let's just wait on that, because that's something that's very squad specific. So do I have any questions now?
Yeah.
In terms of what I've gone over.
So, formation, box formation? Somebody
okay. So what we're in here is a column formation. It's it's just a straight line behind the squad leader. The other one that we'll do eventually, in fact, we can do this right now, is if we're looking to our south, out towards the mountain there, where I'm currently firing, we are now in a line formation. So we can advance in line. If you guys just advance parallel to me, we can advance in a line. And this is a firing line formation. This is effective for clearing open ground, but the problem is you're slightly more exposed. Obviously, our back of the box is exposed, and it's easier to get spread out. So for this mission, though, if you guys will reform on the yellow line, I want you guys using the column, which is just like I said, a straight line behind the squad leader. I used to keep a 5 to 10 meter spacing, although it's a squad leader's discretion. And everybody has a sector to watch. So remember this here. Look at this formation. Remember it. This is how you move tonight. And, of course, once contact is hit, no O-plan survives the initial contact. So the squad leader will have to make amends. And, of course, if you're up against a wall or something, then it's a little bit different like I showed you guys there. Any other questions?
Yep, Franklin is a ringer question.
Go ahead.
What do you do when you see contacts?
Okay, that's actually excellent, and I forgot about that. So, of course, you want to call it out immediately, and this is something very important I want to see if you guys can do tonight. Call out the general direction first. Don't try and call out a degree, because that's hard to find. Say southwest, south, even if it's not, it's 200 degrees, but it's still pretty much south. Say it's to the south, 200 degrees. So remember that. Now, if I have a contact south of my 200 degree, the guy, we're going to pivot, we're going to look at that contact, we're going to engage him effectively, but you guys still have to keep your heads on a swivel. You have to be alert, and you can't all get bogged down engaging one target. So yes, right now we're all looking that way, but that's why our engagement has to be quick, effective, and deadly, so that we can immediately go back to watching our sector after the contact's down. So, and that's something that's going to come with time. You'll kind of, it's hard to explain. You'll kind of feel and know if there's, a single group of hostiles and you're looking at them, or if you're not really sure where people are and it's a more chaotic situation. You're going to have to keep your head on a swivel at all times. Engage when you can, but don't get bogged down shooting at one guy. Does that answer that in some respect?
Yeah. Do you mind if I expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely.
When I see contact, I try to call out, first of all, contact that lets us know that there's danger near. A direction, it could be relative, like right flank if you're moving in a line, or a direction like west or north. What I'm seeing, squad of infantry, vehicle, in-place weapon, and approximate distance, 100 meters, 200 meters, 1,000 meters, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything he just said is absolutely correct. You want to call out the type contact. If you approximate range, do so. If there's any landmarks, you can attempt to call those out as well. But the most important thing is you give a direction and you make sure the rest of your squad knows that there is a danger, so that the rest of the squad can cover that area. But like I said, you don't want to get too bogged down, especially if you're trying to move and engage, which is something that will save for maybe another time. I'm not going to try and do that right now. Excuse me.
From Hercules, if we got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say we've got contact right on our 12 or right on our 6. and we're in a line formation. Just to clarify for these guys, um, probably, like, do you have a general sort of spread that we take to break that line formation?
Okay, so Ferguson, that's right. But if I have a squad-sized element to my front as a squad leader, and this is from my old days as a squad leader, what I used to do was I would bound a few steps, hit the dirt, begin firing. The guy behind me would bounce to my left, keep about 10-meter spacing, so he would bound up, kind of get into that line. Except you have to move quickly. So get up here even with me, whoever's behind me right there. Okay, he hit the dirt. As we're firing, the next two guys would perform the same maneuver, except the next one would be on my right and then on the left. So we're kind of forming a line. We're engaging, all the while the rest of the squad's moving up one by one. And here we are, we're engaging, but we can't stay in this position very long. We're all looking one way. Our box is exposed to the left, right, and behind. So once that contact's down, we have to be able to shift, quickly get back into our column, and keep moving. Does that make any sense? So it's the guy on the left comes up, the guy on the right. It's a movement and bounds type of motion.
Okay, just wanted to clarify it for those guys so we don't all try to shoot straight ahead while we're in a line.
Yeah, and you know like I said, no operation plan ever survives initial contact. You're gonna have to improvise. It's never gonna look this pretty. But I want you guys to try and practice it because it will save your butt and it will save your squad's butt, more importantly. So this is just really, really basic stuff. So we know the line to the column to the line and back, which is basically what we just did. That's how I used to run it. Squad leaders might develop a slightly different theory as we go forward, but for this mission, I'd like you to try that. And again, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty, but keep it in your head, keep it in your mind, and do the best you can with it. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Mav. So, any other questions on what we've covered thus far?
Nope.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Are we going to add some other basic formations later then?
Absolutely. Yeah, staggered column, wedge, are a couple more that I like to add. The stagger column, in my opinion, is very, very effective for urban combat, but I don't want to throw too much at everybody at once. So let's just keep what we got for right now. So we know the column, we know the line. The column is your base formation. The line is what you get into if you have to bring all of it together, and that's for a larger element, a squad-sized, you know, force or greater. Yeah, there's some other ones out there, guys. We'll get to them. Some of them aren't as effective because it is a video game, as they would be in the real world. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But for now, know the line, know the column, know the box. Keep it in your head as you move. Always keep your head on a swivel, keep your heads down, and make sure everybody in your squad has their box covered. And you know what? If you see somebody, you know, slacking off, whatever, not watching their sector, say something to them in direct comms. Make sure everybody's watching their sector. It's very, very important. Okay, let's see. Any other questions from you guys?
I
Nope.
just realized you could literally keep your head on a swivel using the Alt key, the look around key, without actually looking around.
Absolutely. And hopefully most of you guys know that. If not, Alt key is your best friend. Just don't double tap it. If you do, you'll have to spam it until it goes away. But yeah.
Tracker IR.
Yeah, there you go. That's another good remedy for that. Anything else?